Yeah, welcome to Signal Paths. I'm Doug.
And I'm Ryan.
And today we're going to talk about a little bit about the types of music you might hear at an audio show and why or why not someone should concentrate on that kind of music or not.
Yeah, it was really funny. When I was at AXPONA, we haven't even talked about AXPONA, but
yeah,
when I was at AXPONA, I was in one of the rooms where, the system sounded pretty good. It did. It was a nice system. And I walked in after this gentleman was really kind of demoing, so I didn't really listen. I don't know. I know what he was listening to. It was one of those tracks that we would refer to as an audiophile track, the ones that sound good on everything.
Yeah.
But he said to the gentleman that was actually running the room, he's like, this is the best demo I've heard. I don't know what all these people are doing. They're just playing regular music, and you really showed off your system with this. And I was just like, are you kidding me? Like, if you're buying this system, why aren't you buying it to listen to music? So I don't know.
I call it the Big John syndrome. It's
the Big John machine.
Yeah, there's a reason why there's videos going around Facebook that mock the Big John thing, because tracks like that do a disservice to people, I think. I mean, there's a reason those tracks exist, and they're to show off audio gear. But when you're evaluating or listening to possibly make a purchase of gear, speakers especially, those type of tracks do one thing well, which is they hide the inefficiencies or the inabilities of a system well.
Right.
They're built to sound good on everything.
Yep.
So when you do that, and then you wonder why you get that speaker or that product home, and you put your favorite whatever on it, Elton John track or whatever, and it doesn't sound up to par to you.
Yeah.
It's because real music isn't hiding things.
Yes.
It's not built to be harmonious with everything.
Right.
It's done to show the artist in whatever light they want to be shown in. And the best thing you can do in an audio show or anywhere when you're evaluating gear is use the music you're going to listen to.
Absolutely.
I
don't get it. I don't understand. I mean, I get why dealers want to do that.
Oh, companies want to do it especially.
And as
they
a
don't
dealer,
have to answer questions when they play those tracks.
And as a dealer, I really am tempted to play those tracks for people, but I don't. Unless they ask for that track.
But
and then when they ask for it, I go, why do you want to listen to that one? If I know the track for sure, that I'm like, oh yeah. So Big John would be one of them.
Right.
I'm trying to think of. There's a couple others that I'm like, oh yeah, that one. It just
you'll hear them all
immediately,
around the shows, because you'll go every floor, every other room is playing the same stuff, and it's just, I don't like it, because it's just, it doesn't show the true light of anything.
Yeah, as a dealer, it's my job to educate my customers. It's like, I can make any set of speakers in the shop sound great with that track.
Me as a speaker, me as a speaker designer,
in general, I'm going to carry great speakers in my shop because that's what I do.
Yeah.
But the other part of that is, I can grab a pair of speakers off the street that's going to sound awfully good with that track.
Yeah. A Bluetooth speaker sounds good with that track. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, within its limitations, anything you put it through is going to sound impressive for whatever it is, because it's built that.
Right.
That track is perfectly curated at the studio, knowing that it's going to be played through various things, and it's built to sound good through various things and be impressive.
But you've got to ask the clients, what do you listen to?
Exactly.
What is the soundtrack of your life?
Well,
and
I mean,
let's
what
check that
music
out.
are you into? See, like with me, I'm into everything. And a person that's into everything, whether it's jazz, I mean, I can go from Coltrane to Gojira in 5 minutes of time, and that's a complete polar opposite of type of music.
Yeah, and when I go to your house to check out your system, with your new speaker build, we don't listen to demo tracks that we would call audiophile demo tracks. We listen to
real music,
the real music type stuff,
and that's because I build my speakers to sound good with real music, which should be done. You shouldn't have to hide behind the curtain of demo tracks.
Right.
And there's a lot of companies that do that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of dealers that will only play that stuff, and they won't let you play the music. You know, you've been at AXPONA in places where you walk into a room, and you say, "Can you play this track?" And they're like, "No."
Yeah.
Because they don't want to take a chance on something going awry or sounding off, and then people going, "Oh, I don't want to buy that."
Yeah.
They don't want to take that chance.
Absolutely.
If you stand behind your product and know what you're doing, you don't need to.
And I get told, I get told by reps sometimes, always control the demo. Always control the demo. Like don't put the demo in the customer's hands. And I'm just like, no, this holds up to what this is. And so, really, with a great rep, I don't hear that. When I hear that, if I hear that from a rep, I'm like, I don't know that I want you to be my rep.
It's an old school sales tactic that has been around forever. Give them what, you control the narrative, you control the sale, in my opinion, and I hate that.
Yeah.
To me, that's a corporate thing, and I don't like that corporate way of doing things.
Yeah.
Me, if I make a product, I'm going to make it good enough to where it's going to sell itself.
Yeah.
I don't need to pressure sale. I don't need to curate a playlist for these people to try to sell a product, because the first time they play the song that they love, they're going to be impressed enough that it's going to sell itself.
They're going to be impressed, or they're going to be disappointed.
Right.
One or two things is going to happen, and you do not want them to be at home regretting their decision.
It's the same thing that's going on, just like in the auto world. They're all these companies are concentrating on sell now, sell now, sell now. What they don't realize is if you don't sell them a good priced vehicle at a right price now, you're not going to have them down the road to sell to.
Right.
They're going to go somewhere else. The same thing with audio. If you satisfy someone on their music now, when they want to upgrade, or if they have a friend or a family member that's going to upgrade, they're going to come to you because you gave them what made their dreams come true.
I really like clients to bring their own music in with them.
Yeah.
And just like, hey, just try it out.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm breaking any laws by that, but I don't think I am.
No. I mean, if you were public, put it on YouTube or something, that's a different story. But no.
So.
Always, and for the viewers, always take the music that you love and find the version of the song that you listen to. That's an important one, because I've learned through all this time of being in this, 40 plus years, that if you don't, you have to find, because there's so many different versions of stuff out there. There's remasters, there's retakes, there's re-recordings, and every one of them is going to sound different.
And I've had guys come in and they'll ask for a track, and I'm not familiar with it, and I will play it for them, and I'll be like, oh, that's kind of lackluster. And I'm like, hey, do you mind if I play another version of that track so we can hear what this is doing? And I've kind of learned now, don't go with the HR version, go with the CD version.
A lot of times, the HD or high resolution version is nothing more than a remaster in the studio.
And a failed remaster.
A lot of times they brick wall it.
Yeah.
They shove the compression. They shove the volumes up and then compress it to where it's all loud, and they completely destroy the track, in my opinion. And they do, and like I said before in our videos, they do it for a reason.
Right.
Most remasters are built to sound good on Bluetooth speakers.
Yep. So anyway, I'll just say, hey, that's a little lackluster. Let's try this other. There's like several recordings of this. Let's go for this one. And a lot of times that opens up the system. They're like, oh wow, I've never heard it like that before.
Yeah.
And it's a whole new listening experience for them.
Because they're taught by all these people.
But that's still their music.
Yeah, it's taught by their, by everybody. Go for the high res version. Push the high res version. Yeah. Or remaster is automatically associated with better, and it's not.
And sometimes it is, but
most of the time it's not. And get out of the head that automatically high resolution is more resolution, because a lot of times it's not the case. CD quality done right is really excellent, and we found that out. I mean, earlier in the 2000s, we went through that phase of high res only, and then we found out with DACs getting better and better control on jitter, better control on the source, that CD quality was much better than we ever thought it was.
Sure. So I'm going to throw this out here. I'm going to go first because so you've got an opportunity to think about it before you answer the question. But because we did not do an AXPONA episode, I want you to tell me like one, maybe two of your highlights from AXPONA that you're like, oh, I remember this room was just a really good room, and just kind of a little shout out to that room.
Yeah.
And I'm actually going to go with one. One of the products is definitely in my distribution channels, and that's Advanced Paris. I don't have Advanced Paris here in the shop. And then KLH. There was Advanced Paris with KLH. It was the KLH room. And they were doing the Model 5s. And I've heard Model 5s before. I've heard Advanced Paris before. And I've always been like, there's something really good about that, but I don't know what it is yet. But the marriage of those two products was outstanding. Is that it really had that vintage feel that you're just like, oh man, I just want to sink right into this music.
Right.
And I wish I would have thought about this before. I may have made a note, but I probably forgot the note now. But anyway, I remember at the time I was like, that's a really good track to do this on. It was kind of an 80s track. I want to say it was Bob Seger type stuff.
Right.
80s, 70s, early 70s, or late 70s, early 80s. It was Bob Seger. I know that. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I could just melt into this. So to the guys at KLH, and I know that you guys were the choice. You guys are the ones that chose to bring Advanced Paris in with your product. Fantastic. What a great choice.
And honestly, their products, either one of those, are not really that high a price.
No, they're just a wonderfully price system. And again, they just played good music that people dig. And I was just like, this is such a great setup.
And it goes to show that you don't necessarily have to spend a house worth of money to get good sound.
Yeah.
You can improve your sound by spending more, but you don't have to do it.
Absolutely. And as far as my ultra hi-fi demo guy, or the ultra hi-fi distributors that I have with rhythm distribution, they just knocked it out of the park. I mean, every room that they had set up was just like, wow, this is incredible. And then also Constellation Audio put on a great show. They weren't using the Martens like what we use here, but they were using some Magicos. And wow, Irv just knows how to. Irv is a guy that is so passionate about music and revealing music and musicality. Like, you will not hear a non-music track. You will hear musicianship always in Irv's demos. So big shout out to Irv Gross with Constellation, and then Randy Bingham and all the guys at Rhythm Distribution. You guys just were fantastic. So yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, it's been a while, but AXPONA, there was a few rooms. One of them was the Pure Audio Project. I've heard them sound great, and I've heard them sound. I've always heard them sound good, but I've heard them sound better than. And this time at AXPONA, their Duet 15 coax, which is a 15-inch open baffle with a coax, I believe a 10-inch coax driver. Simple open baffle speaker, and it sounded wonderful.
Yeah.
I think it was a Past Labs integrated that they had it powered with.
Nice.
And it sounded great this year. It had the same kind of that open sound without any box loading that I'm used to with open baffle, without having some of the issues I've heard with some open baffle speakers that are just not done as well. Trying to think of any others. I mean, there was a whole bunch. I always like QLN speakers.
Yeah.
They always perform. This year, they didn't have quite the bass performance, most likely room issues.
Listen, if you're going to AXPONA and judging a speaker's bass performance
on a room, it's room related.
You're missing it.
That's a limitation that's very hard to get around when you're trying to set up a system in a weekend.
Yeah, absolutely.
It takes guys in dedicated rooms, sometimes a year or two, to get their bass dialed in. And a lot of them hire dedicated sound people to do it.
Yeah.
It's hard to do that. And depending on the system, I mean, you're talking about a bedroom-sized room, and some of these systems are relatively big.
Yep.
And to get the bass right, it's impossible.
Yeah.
Or it's very hard. And there was a couple of others, but that's one of the highlights. The biggest thing for me, as I noticed this year, was the fact that some of the rooms the bass was much better controlled than in the past.
Yeah, the year before was.
Yeah, a couple of years that I went, the bass was all over the place.
Yeah, and we'll probably hear after a year or two of controlled bass, people going, "Where's all the bass?" And then
it's a double-edged sword.
It's going to do this. It's
a double-edged sword because there's a thing called consumer tuning, and then there's music tuning. Consumer tuning is like in headphones. The Harman targets prove that people generally that aren't audiophiles, that aren't addicted music people like us,
right? They
prefer more a bass shelf. They prefer it, and if they don't hear it, they think things sound open.
And they almost like that
bass
bass.
Yeah, it's a bloated big woofer bass that big box woofer bass that. And I think it's programmed into them from going to concerts where they have these huge subwoofers that are just way over EQ'd, to sound that boomy, because it's fun.
Yep. All right. Well, hey, that's it. That's all I got for you. So, thanks for joining us here on Signal Paths, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.